Editor-in-Chief is live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, welcome to the program. It is August the 6th and you're with the Editor-in-Chief live with Leicester's Oil, your multi-ingredient omega-3 healthy aging supplement backed by thousands of satisfied customers. Get the benefits of 6 supplements in one capsule to support joint, heart and brain health. Take as directed, read the label. About Health Auckland. Very good morning to you. Welcome to the program today. Who would be in the Hospo business right now? Who would be in this? It's tough and businesses are closing up everywhere you look, and those that do remain are up against things like Uber Eats. Today we asked the question, is Uber Eats sending them to the wall? We head into a community as well who is fed up with illegal rubbish dumping, so it's naming and shaming the culprits. And who hates mass? We meet the woman who wants to make mass cool again. Is it possible? Jump on the YouTube, TikTok link, leave us a comment, leave us a message. It's all there. It's news time. And here's MediaWorks Deputy News Editor. It is Grace Cocker. Very good morning.
Starting with some sport news this morning, where an ecstatic Finn Butcher has claimed gold in the inaugural men's kayak cross at the Olympics. The Kiwi paddler revealing his luck helped him beat Britain's 3-time world champion in the final on Sky Sport.
Him and Noah had a bit of a tangle on the right-hand side, and I just took advantage and sent it straight.
And there are smiles all round for the New Zealand women's track cycling sprint team after winning the silver medal in Paris. Elise Andrews, thrilled to have been on the dais.
It's pretty special and nothing like I've imagined. It's just so surreal to be here in person and to actually have made a result like that happen. It's just something else.
And Eliza McCartney, Imogen Eris and Olivia McTaggart have qualified for the final of the women's pole vault. To news, where a Kiwi helicopter pilot has been killed by rebels in Indonesia's remote region of Papua. It's believed to be the same separatist group who took New Zealander Philip Mertens 18 months ago. An MFAT spokesperson says they're aware of the situation and are in contact with the Jakarta embassy. Ambulance officers are fed up with what they call a rabbit hole of political campaign promises. Union members will walk off the job later this month. The Ambulance Association's Mark Quinn says it's a first.
All we're getting back from St John's, we have no money and Health New Zealand won't give us any money. And it's got to the point now we've just had enough.
Sticking with strike news, nearly 10,000 Woolworths workers are also going on strike. They're upset the supermarket giant has ruled out a living wage. Although workers won't walk off the job, they will wear strike stickers on the uniform and hand out flyers to customers. A French pole vaulter whose manhood prevented him from a medal in Paris has a new job offer. Anthony Amarazzi has reportedly been offered an adult entertainment deal to show off his skills on camera. It's worth $250,000. And that's your news in sport.
Thank you very much, Grace. That last story, this manhood was too large?
Yeah, do you not see the video?
I missed it.
You're going to have to Google it, but be careful how you Google it. You don't want the companies,
talk me through it.
As he went over, it just kind of clipped it, and off went the pole, and he wasn't able to go any further.
Yeah.
But he's got lots of deals coming out from it. I mean, I don't know if he's going to take it.
It might be the best thing for him. I mean, you could win a gold, or you could win lucrative contracts for the rest of your life.
Yeah, the poor guy though, that's just become his, Olympic stain almost. It's like that's how he's going to be known as going forward.
You could be known for worse things.
That is true. That is true. My husband said that actually. So
yeah, but he
said if you're going to bow out, at least you bow out with some kind of oomph behind you.
Go out big.
Well, yeah,
that's what we're looking at. I mean, not all men suffer that problem. You see.
Duncan, Garner.
Okay. Restaurants around New Zealand are shutting their doors as the cost of living crisis forces Kiwis to cut back on all sorts of things, but spending in restaurants and things like that. They need every dollar of ours that we can spare, but with so many opting to go Uber Eats instead of eating in, are they losing vital dollars to the middleman? And does Uber Eats simply take far too much? We'll look at this. Hospitality New Zealand's Steve Armitage. Good guy. He's with us now. Steve, how you going, mate?
Very well, thank you.
First of all, just a wider picture, how's Hospo doing?
Yeah, look, it's a grind. I think everybody understands that the current economic environment is putting particular pressure on hospitality and retail. So, the fact that businesses, by and large, the number of businesses operating in hospitality has stayed pretty level. There's been some high-profile closures, but there's also been some exciting new operators come into the market too.
And that's what we haven't talked about. I'll get to Uber Eats in a second, but I also want to sort of get a lay of the land, really. Yes, it's true that people are fading and dying, but wherever you look, there are new joints jumping up as well. So you've got some green shoots there. I think that's what you call them, green shoots.
Yeah, absolutely. That gives us a lot of encouragement. We just had our annual conference down in Christchurch last week. a record turnout, actually. People interested in understanding what the next stage of hospitality looks like.
Yeah.
And it's evolving. It's not always necessarily about establishing a venue where people come in and sit down and dine. It's more about the convenience factor. So, look, I'm pretty encouraged and a bit bullish about the next 12 months.
Yeah. Well,
Certainly
it can't
as
get
we
any
head into
worse,
summer.
can it? I mean, I know you have to be positive, but you also can't deny the negative, and you have to address it as well. So it can't get much worse, can it?
I think we're at the bottom. There's obviously some excitement and hope around some changes around the Reserve Bank and the settings there. Obviously, as we head in towards summer, that tends to be peak time for hospitality. We should see the visitor numbers pick up. We're not quite back to where they were pre-COVID. So there are some things that still will add a lot of value to hospitality in the long run. But at the moment, yes, it's tough.
It's tough. And Uber Eats, of course, they've swept in, and they're pretty dominant in the market. Is it a problem for some of these restaurants in that they're not receiving much money back because Uber Eats, as the middleman, takes the major cut?
It's a tricky one, really, because through COVID, services like Uber Eats provided an absolute lifeline to hospitality businesses who had to change their offering and make it more accessible through those platforms. It's here to stay. It's a disruptive platform which provides convenience to people.
It's kept people alive too. I mean, it's kept some restaurants and takeaways alive.
Absolutely. But there is competition coming. We've got DoorDash emerging into the scene. We think that over time that'll provide a little bit more competition. We should see those margins reduce and more money go back to the operators themselves.
So with competition comes perhaps better rates and better returns. But have they got the capacity to scale?
I think they will over time. Yeah, there are some new entries coming into the market, which I think will create a little bit more competition. So we're excited about that. But ultimately, when we were young,
what do you mean? We're not old, are we? Steve?
When we were kids, right?
Okay.
It was a family affair going to get the weekly takeaways.
Of course.
You'd pile into the Cortina. It was an occasion. You'd go home. You'd eat together.
Yeah.
These days, I think everybody's on a device in a different room.
Are they though?
Food's delivered at the door.
Yeah.
You barely spend time together. So I think we need to bring that sort of sense of occasion back to a meal.
So you're urging New Zealanders to get out there and enjoy it and sit down?
Yeah, make it an adventure. It's not too inconvenient to just pop up the road to go up to your local takeaway and get a meal together. I think we need to bring a bit of that back into the scene.
Yeah, and go local too. I know there's a lot of people travel distances to go to places, but go local. Have a look at what's in your backyard.
The local scene has actually come on quite strong as a result of the change around COVID. Where we're seeing a bit of a lag is in the major city centres where workforce hasn't returned. So those businesses that are operating in the city centre are the ones that are really struggling relative to those in the local
communities. You can see that too, can't you? And some of these places now don't even open on certain nights of the week. It's just not economic, which is quite drastic, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So, the way that people work has changed dramatically. Through the middle of the week, there tends to be good footfall in the major urban cities and centres, but Monday
Uber Eats. Do you think they're taking too much? In some instances, there's talk of there's one chicken place out of West Auckland, Henderson. Of course, there's a chicken place in West Auckland, and that, they put out they lost about 80% of the revenue from that. It all went to Uber Eats. Is it to me as a fairness issue? It looks like it's too much.
I think it's interesting to shine a light on it. I don't think people understand quite how much is going to the platform relative to the person or the business that's providing the service. So, look, of course, I'd love to see more money going back into the pockets of the hospitality operator themselves. Maybe a bit of pressure that this sort of coverage provides will make Uber think a little bit harder, but certainly that competition coming into the market should sharpen things up.
What about cost recovery, though? Because because I know McDonald's just puts the price up by a couple of bucks just to sort of get some cost recovery. That's the way to do it?
It's happening right across the board. Yeah, I mean, most businesses have had cost increases, so that's being passed on to the customer, unfortunately. Good
to see you, Steve. Appreciate it. The old pole vault, it's a good story, isn't it?
Yeah, I wondered what I'd walked into there, actually.
Hey, enough said. Good on you, mate. I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, 0800 863 293 is our number. Get a hold of me as well. Jump on TikTok, YouTube, all the comments there. Just make your comments and it comes straight through to me direct. So let us know what you're thinking. Right, illegal rubbish dumping, or fly tipping is what it's called, costs our council hundreds of thousands of dollars to clean up every year. That's hundreds of thousands of your ratepayer dollars. It's not their money, it's your money being spent on cleaning up someone else's crap, when it could be fixing roads or funding another new road or funding a cycleway, whatever. But in the Auckland suburb of Mangere, a community-led trust has found a way to curb the constant eyesore around the area's shops in a very novel way. They've taken to calling out the culprits on social media, and it's worked. Community Connector and CEO Management from I Am Mangere, Tony Hallier, joins me now to explain. G'day, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the podcast. Hey, so how are you doing it?
I guess, when you see rubbish on the side of the road and you keep driving past it, and one day you just keep saying, if you just open it up to try and find mail and the name and the address, and it was just pretty much that concept.
Because it's an ugly. If it's not just where you guys live, it's right across the board, and so you simply had enough.
We did, actually, because it is at one of our most iconic shopping malls in Mangere, the town centre, so it's pretty much there every day, right in front of you.
Yes.
And the community's always had a say about it, and we've just had a changeover in town centre managers, and that's kind of where it kind of spurred from, because we had no town centre manager for about a couple of months. So who else was going to do it?
Got a bit loose, so you guys jumped in.
Yeah.
So you're just a concerned local.
We are a community-led group, and so we pretty much listen to the community, and no one seems to know what to do, so we just thought we'll jump in and just give it a go.
And so everything's on social media these days. Everything, people are sitting at home, sitting at work, and they're all on social media, so we know they're listening and watching this, and we know that when they get called out, they know who it is. How's that been, just in terms of it's quite confrontational?
It is.
And there's privacy issues involved as well, but you're calling them out. It's pretty embarrassing for them.
Yeah, well, we had a really good discussion about how we're going to tackle this, because what we were finding is for years, the whole fine thing just wasn't working. You just get more dumping every day. People get fined.
Who
Nothing was
fines?
changing. Yeah, well, no one does. To be honest, it's just chucked in, and then
I've got a few sitting at home. I don't want to open those envelopes.
And you get to pay it off, right? So it doesn't have that sting. So we kind of thought, well, we needed to get rid of it straight away. So we did. We did the whole name and shame thing. And because we are a community trust, we do know about privacy. We do understand that. But we got the reaction that we wanted, and it was, okay, take notice. There is a group, or there is community.
And do people pile in once you name someone? Do people pile in? Oh, you asshole!
We were expecting that. We were literally expecting both sides. We're a neutral entity. We're kind of on the side of the community and helping them out.
Well,
we did expect it.
You're on the side of doing right.
Exactly, and we kind of took that approach too when we did do the call out, the name and shame. We did kind of. It was a bit of a fun thing. It was, you're going to win a $1,000 lottery ticket. Your bonus ticket's on its mail and on the way. But it got the result we wanted, and all we wanted was to let the community know that there's someone there, we're going to be watching it, so stop dumping, because we're trying to get rid of the rubbish.
And what was the reaction from those who were named and shamed?
Yeah, we did. The funny thing was, we did get one. We got one that was a bit of an alarm.
Grumpy?
Pretty grumpy, to be honest. But I think they've handled that well. I'm hoping that they've understood.
How grumpy? How grumpy is grumpy? Be truthful.
Should be.
You can tell
love my staff. It was a bit of a death threat.
Aye.
Actually, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah, so apparently, it's like, lucky 5 years ago when I was down and out, blah, blah, blah. So, we kind of went, okay. But the others...
But you saw that off? It was calmed down?
Yeah, well, we never... The thing is, with social media stuff, don't keep firelighting, just leave it. Leave it.
Yeah, but people don't. It's great advice.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I walked away from it years ago, and I stuff this, because it's just for your mental health alone.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is quite edgy in that sense.
It is.
Yeah.
But the result on the other side, one versus another 5 that came through and said, really sorry, actually gave a reason. We said, look, it was just about community education. How can we help you? Because what we wanted was feedback. Why did you come to the town centre to dump the rubbish? And we got really legit answers. It really has helped.
Why did they?
A lot of it is they just don't know what to do with excess rubbish. And they didn't know where else to put it, but they know that rubbish gets collected at the town centre.
So they just dump it there thinking, this is now your problem.
It is.
And it goes everywhere with wind and everything.
Yeah.
So what is the answer to those people listening to this? What do they do with the excess rubbish? We all have it.
Yeah, we do. So one case really was excess medical packages. So you can actually go back to your medical provider, and Baxter's actually is a good one, to pick up all those medical medicines, all that. So that was quite a lot. That was 2 bags full. that got dumped once. So, you know, Baxter's, someone can pick it up in the medical sense. Just give them a call.
Yeah.
The other stuff is mostly event stuff. You know, you have your good old parties in the weekend, don't quite know what to do with all your
parties in town
catering
are Mangere,
stuff. Well, that's half the problem.
They're still going on.
Yeah. But for that, it's more education. Yeah, think about what you're going to be putting out in rubbish. What is it that you're using? Lots of tinfoil, lots of packaging stuff. You have to just think about it, which is where the education.
But yeah, we'll talk about education in a second, because I mean, I've got behind in this too. Like, you know, we used to recycle and do all this.
Yeah, of course.
And I think we had a peak and we've gone backwards since. All of us have.
Well, see, it's funny because we had a massive education run when the new wheelie bins were coming out, especially for our area. So lots of education, how to reduce your waste, you know, from 3 rubbish bags to 2
But how do
or
you
1.
fit? I mean, for big families in South Auckland, how on earth those little bins that came out? Get me another one.
Yep.
Come on.
So
that's
there's the next
ridiculous.
size. There's the next size up, you know. But it does come down. We have to start thinking about our rubbish. It's like, you know, there's no magic fingers. Oh, that person's going to pick up our rubbish and dispose of it. Well,
Someone else's problem, right?
It's someone else's problem. And it's going to landfill. I mean, I'm not the biggest guru on, you know, like on rubbish, but it is all going into landfill. I might be changing my.
You're doing wonderful work.
Well, it's just something we knew our community needed, and that's what our group does. We just tackle things.
And the town centre, I actually went through there the other day. It's pretty sharp.
Thank you.
Well done. And are you getting any rubbish at all dumped now?
Very, very minimal. I think we're getting maybe one bag that's tiny, or you know, it's massive. It's like it's work.
That is such a good.
Yeah. No.
So the education stuff. So how are you teaching them? What's next?
Awesome. So now we've brought on board some community champions that have always been about waste minimisation. They've been waiting for 15 years to come in to help the town centre and the community. So we've invited them to come along. They're going to be educating the shops, because the shops are actually part of the problem. Yeah. So they're coming in to educate the shop owners about their waste, where to divert food scraps, all that sort of stuff, how you can get your actual rubbish down. Yeah. And the second one is actually going to be more community education around where you can put your rubbish, what type of rubbish goes where.
And is the council on board with you on this?
I think they will be now.
Hey, if they're not, then they're nincompoops.
Yeah.
They need, if they had a champion like you in every community, imagine it.
I think what it is this: if everyone does their own bit, if everybody just does their own bit, community had a say in this. We're dumping. You know, it's not always Auckland Council's fault. It's not the town centre's fault. It's a joint effort, and we're just doing our bit.
And look at who's doing it. I mean, at the end of the day, we are responsible because we are dumping. Yeah. In terms of the vibrancy of the place, have you noticed a difference?
We have. Yeah. And we've actually had visitors come around Mangere Town Centre. Is not usually around. They said, "Man, this is actually looking really beautiful."
You must be so proud of yourself.
We are actually, you know, and it was a very hard job for my team to do. I mean, who really wants to go through people's rubbish? Like, honestly, it's yeah.
I know, but sometimes it takes throwing some rubber gloves, and sometimes it takes. Well, hang on, here's a name right here.
Yeah.
You know? But still, I can see that you get the wrong person, and you're in with the old death threat or whatever.
Yeah, but you know, we hope that they can see what we've been doing, and I think that's the messaging. You know,
it's about all of us policing others too. You know, come on, mate, don't do that. Yeah. So here's my question: is it okay to throw an apple core out the window?
If it lands on the grass,
that's the thing, in the garden, isn't it? So you got to throw it a bit. But that's, I mean, I'll ask the audience. I mean, do you throw a banana out the window of your car? You know, I remember my parents would do this years ago, but now, you know, I would feel guilty even thinking to throw something out the window. You know, just put it in the bin when you get home.
Yeah, but it's funny, you still see that.
You do.
And it's not apples or bananas.
No,
it's
but there's
like
some prats though around that.
Cups and, you know, that's the education side.
Do you know what I hate? I hate seeing in the middle of the road a bag of McDonald's. You know, just if someone just dumped out the window like that, they've eaten it and goes. Is McDonald's responsible for any of that?
How can they be responsible for it? Like, really, it's the buyer is the responsible one.
The person doing it.
You know, look overseas, they put the name and the phone number or whatever it is on the packaging.
Yeah.
I mean, look, how far do you go? But simple solution. Yeah. That was your rubbish. Take it home with you.
To other communities listening to this that want to do something similar, what's your advice?
My advice is, you know, just be very careful. We're very good with privacy. We understand privacy. So if you are going to do something like this, don't make it something that's long term. It's only a short stint.
Yeah, like a short jab.
It's just a short jab, getting people's attention. Yes. And do make sure of privacy. You know, we did a lot around that. Just be very careful of it. But, you know, if you want something done,
Kiwi Back Community Hero of the Year. You have my nomination. Okay? Why not? Well, this is the sort of person that should be winning awards. This is the sort of person that should be at Government House getting honoured. Because this is you're doing God's work. Good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
You too.
Okay, all the very best. Take care.
You.
Okay.
Duncan Garner, live.
Well, you see so many names of people in the honours list. That, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Well, look at this one. An absolute legend. Doing God's work in her own community. Well done. Well done to her. Tony Hallier. Right. Let's go do some questions. I've got some questions.
3 questions from the Editor-in-Chief. 1.
At number 1 today, oh yes. Can I just get to this? At number 1 today, I was with a bunch of CEOs yesterday, and they asked one question. How long will the Reserve Bank Governor stay in his job for? They don't like him. They've had a guts full. They've said enough's enough, we're sick of him, and he should be cutting interest rates. And they've said now it's an ego thing. It's basically an ego thing. So they want him gone. No names here, no names of the CEOs, but they just want him gone. They said enough is enough. On your bike, son.
2.
At number 2 today, is that a gold for New Zealand? It sure is. Alexandra's Finn Butcher is New Zealand's latest golden hero with a victory in the kayak cross at the Paris Olympics. Butcher produced the paddle of his life to lead the field from start to finish. He's our first ever Olympic champion in the men's canoe slalom cross event. He began paddling at age 9 at a Give It a Go day in Central Otago. It's a flawless effort, so well done to him.
3.
And number 3 today, who hates maths? Up go the hands. Yes, Miranda loves it. Kayla doesn't like it. Why is it like that? Well, it doesn't have to be. Next up, we'll attempt to change your attitude and our minds and tell you why it's so damn important that we start getting this right. A very good morning.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, so, and this is interesting. This is about maths. This is about the numbers, okay? This is about the numbers. A new maths action plan for primary and intermediate kids has been brought forward by year by this government. They are allocating $20 million, and while that's welcome, money, you've got to ask, why the rush? Why is the rush? Well, I'll tell you why the rush, because our year 8s, about 20% of them are passing. So how does maths set our kids up for a successful future? Dr. Lisa Adara, an expert in maths education and a senior lecturer in the Faculty of Education and Social Work, joins us now. Very good morning.
Good morning. Nice to speak with you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Why do we get that pushback from so many of us that, maths, it's like going to the dentist? Why do people have that initial angst about maths, do you think?
Oh, that's a very good question, and something that my research is often really focusing on. We do have these negative stereotypes about maths in our society, and so whenever children start learning maths in the classroom, they're kind of encountering all these negative stereotypes right from the beginning. I think partly it is a subject that we need to teach better. We need to make it more engaging and interesting and relevant to children's lives, and that would go a long way to changing people's opinions.
It's so good to hear you say that, because that's the thing. I look back at our sort of childhood and education and everything, and I found maths was taught to us in a really dull or bland way. It wasn't fun. Now, not everything can't be always fun all the time, but I wonder if a different approach might make it way more interesting, because it's really important. It matters. Numbers matter. Numbers make the world go round,
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about children learning football, they don't just spend their entire time doing drills up and down the field. They actually get out there and play the game.
Yes.
Similarly with music, we don't only play the scales and the boring stuff. We're creative, and we get a chance to experiment. And so the same thing could apply to maths. You do need skills, you do need your basic facts. I mean, absolutely, you need to learn your times tables, but you also need to experience kind of the joy and wonder in mathematics, and have a go at problem solving, and see where maths is in your real life. Absolutely, and there are certainly teachers who do exactly that. They have vibrant mathematics programs where they do take children outside and look at the maths out there. I've witnessed teachers doing it and heard wonderful stories about the engagement of the children when they do stuff like that. Yeah.
But how many of them are doing this? Because it's you have to be creative, and you have to think a bit further, and you have to think outside the square, and it puts a lot of pressure on, and it's time consuming, and it's probably tiresome, over time. How many people are really thinking like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it does require a certain confidence in the teaching of mathematics. And I think one of the problems that we have in our country is that we haven't put any money into professional learning in maths. And so we've got, it's literally been 2 decades. So we've got a whole generation of teachers who have just been under-supported in that subject area. So, I'm hoping with this change in the curriculum, it will come with a little bit more money invested in teachers, as long as it's done in the right way.
Yeah, well, so and what is that right way? Because we so often just hear the words professional development, and you see the teacher-only days and all sorts of things, and you will think, okay, so what's going on here? What does the professional development mean? But it's, from what people tell me, it's really crucial, isn't it, to upskill teachers, and that takes time, and that's an effort, and that's money that we simply haven't put into.
Yeah, absolutely. And what gets us worried in the research community is the idea of kind of quick fixes. We need to fix this problem, so let's go to Singapore and let's import this program and do it exactly like they do it. But I mean, we can't. We have to make a homegrown program that works for our children in our country.
I feel like we're doing a bit of that at the moment. That here's an extra hour of maths and we're going to win. Just somehow it doesn't. It feels like a bold headline or a some sort of advertising line, but it doesn't appear to me like a policy that may work long term.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do need to teach maths in order for the children to learn maths, but what happens in that hour is the most crucial thing. If you have an hour of utter boring, monotonous kind of exercises, I don't think you're going to get the sort of results you're after.
Well, we're out. The kids. I mean, and the concentration span is so different to what it used to be. It's so narrow now, and it's so short because of with digital and so forth. Tell me, why do we do algebra? Well, why do we need algebra, and how often would we use it in our lives?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And algebra is often kind of the scapegoat for questions like this.
Yes.
It's kind of, in a way, algebra is sort of just a language or a grammatical structure for solving problems. So often you can solve the problems that you need to without using algebra. And there's some lovely resources that do rich problem solving, that when you give them to children, say in year 6 or year 7, they often solve these problems without algebra at all. But if you were to give the same problems to children who've learned algebra, they would use algebra to solve the problems. And when you use algebra, you can solve them kind of a lot more quickly and efficiently.
Right, but has it become...
That's the use of it.
Right. Has it become, though, irrelevant, or is it still relevant, algebra?
Algebra is still relevant. I mean, when you're teaching maths, you've got a couple of different goals in mind. One of them is to ensure that your entire society is numerate. We want people who are able to engage in our society and understand finances and understand when they buy a car and they're offered finance, what actually that's going to mean in the amount that they pay over the long term. And you need people who understand the statistics in our lives and all of that. But we also need people who go on to study further in STEM fields. And so we don't know who those people are going to be. So we do need to have things like algebra as part of our mathematics program, particularly at secondary school, so that those people who end up going into those careers that are going to use it, such as engineering and things like that, will be able to.
How bad? I'll finish on this. How bad? I do appreciate your availability and coming on today. How bad is our maths? How are our achievement levels? Are you worried?
Well, I mean, I think we definitely have work to do in the subject, but we're not talking about the sort of crisis that was announced by Luxon at the weekend. I mean, the results that he was, the percentage that he was sharing were based on the curriculum that hasn't been taught yet. So that the new curriculum is more difficult than the current curriculum. And so when he says that this huge percentage of Year 8 students are not achieving at curriculum level, they're not achieving at the new curriculum level that they've never yet been taught. So
that's sneaky, isn't it? Hang on a second. You've brought this up, and I don't want to politicise you, because you've brought this up. That's really sneaky the way he's positioned that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's got all of the maths education researchers in the country talking about it, so yeah, for sure.
I mean, he hasn't told the truth.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's using it as an impetus to get things moving, and on one hand, we do want to get things moving. We do want action in maths, but yeah, it's not quite telling an accurate story.
Yeah, it's not telling us the full picture of what he means. But I mean, he's right that they're not at that level. but they haven't yet been tested at the level. So I understand it. Lisa, I appreciate your time and honesty and availability today. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks so much.
Okay, all the best. Bye-bye.
Duncan Garner, live.
Mr. Luxon, it's the way you've positioned your words. You've just left a couple of them out. And so you've told us 80% of the story and not 100% of the story. So is it untruthful? Yes, it is untruthful. It's not telling the full truth and how you've positioned that. So it's alarmist. It's unnecessarily alarmist is the way you've positioned it. You could say, well, these kids aren't achieving at this level because we haven't yet tested them at this level. So right now they're under that level, but they will hopefully get to that level with our new plan. Oh, but that's less exciting, isn't it? What do you think, Halo? You think it's a bit naughty? I do.
Well, I think Luxon, I'm not a Luxon fan, so I think anything he does is annoying, frankly. I wouldn't be surprised if he used...
He's not that bad.
I heard he used Sticky Johnson's sex wax on his dome, so good on him.
Does he, though?
That's how it's so shiny.
Yeah, it is very shiny.
Nothing else, nothing can obviously come through into that brain of his.
This is a bit slippery, though. This is slippery stuff, I reckon.
Well, it is. It's like his head. It's very slippery. And I think it's blatant lying.
Yeah,
it's absolute lying.
Yeah.
He finds these numbers up his rear end, pulls them out and goes, oh, that looks good, doesn't he?
Yes. Thank you, Kalo. He's less than truthful on this one, isn't he? Right.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah.
It's the slam dunk.
Oh, I enjoy this one today because this is just so off the mark. Health New Zealand is blocking a small group, say 20 to 30 cancer patients. That's maximum, who now qualify for the drug Keytruda. And they're making them wait until the official rollout of the drug on October the 1st. That's despite the drug company coming to the party saying they realise the urgency and they're making it available right now. So the drug's available right now from Keytruda, from the company making it. But the health agency said, no, you've got to wait till October the 1st. To the drug company, well done, well spotted. Thank you for being flexible and bringing the rollout forward. So great. But epic fail to Health New Zealand for blindly, stupidly sticking to the original plan and refusing to see the urgency and desperation in all this. National may have sacked the board at Health New Zealand, but they clearly haven't gone far enough, and the rot within this agency runs deep. This is not a computer blocking access to a drug. This is a person who clearly has no idea what they're doing or can't see the gravity and urgency in this. They're clearly ticking a box. Well, it's simply not good enough. And it can't be allowed to continue and stand. Surely our hospitals right across the country can cope with administering this drug to another 20 or 30 people. That's why we pay our taxes and that's why we put more money into health every year. So more can be done. We simply can't accept this decision. To those who are blocking this, get out of the way. People are trying to save their own lives here, and that you can't see the urgency in this beggars belief. Could the bureaucrats and paper pushers at Health New Zealand get this decision any more wrong? If they don't overturn this themselves within the next 24 hours, then I urge the Minister, Shane Retty, to get involved. Make yourself useful and step up and save lives, because this is what this is all about. Cancer patients all have one thing in common. They lack time. The need to make the right decision as early as possible counts. Please, Minister, place your foot up the backside of these nincompoop officials who appear woefully out of touch on this. This is a case study in getting it wrong completely. This is an example of not reading the room. This is a case of not even reading your notes in front of you or hearing the very people standing in front of you. Put this scenario in front of a bunch of 5-year-olds, and I bet you that they would make the right decision here. But this call smacks of an agency lacking in empathy, but most of all, lacking in basic common sense. Blocking the offer from the drug company to fast-track Keytruda to these patients is akin to administering a potential death sentence upon this small group. The drug has been a wonder drug to some people, to some cancer sufferers, and this to many of these patients is their single greatest chance of survival, or at least staying alive a bit longer. To deny them early access when the drug company is offering it to them would seem illegal. We all know it's a stupid decision, but if these patients tested it in court, then surely they'd win. I know what you're thinking, that they're all suffering enough and they shouldn't have to do this, right? But they are doing this. Of course they shouldn't have to do it. These idiots in charge hopefully can make the right decision today, and it must come today. If it doesn't, then, Minister, this message is to you. You've got to step up in order for them to do so. I couldn't care less if it's the right thing for you to do, if it breaks the rules. You are a representative of the people. You were voted in to serve us. The rules are made to be broken, Minister, so do the right thing and sack the idiots who continue to stand in the way of doing the right thing in our health system. New Zealanders, in their hour of need help. What astounds me even more is that such schemes have existed in the past with no problem. Last year, when Keytruda was funded for lung cancer, an early access scheme was set up for 150 patients. So why suddenly can our hospitals not cope with an additional 20 or 30 patients now, right around the country? This is bureaucracy gone completely mad.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, Forrester, I can't. My feedback's not up on the screen, but is there much coming today?
Yes, there is. Hold on, wait. Let me push a button.
Thank you,
here.
Forrester. Nice to see you today, Forrester.
And let's see what you got here, and try that one.
Okay.
Oh no,
I can't see anything, mate. So
take a look. It'll come through in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got new computers.
Yeah, new computer.
Has
That's
Mediaworks
fine,
invested money?
Yes, and it looks great. I have to say.
I'm going to say this is great, but I just can't see anything.
Yeah, no, you'll see it soon. Don't worry about that.
I don't know. Maybe you can want to read it for me.
Yeah.
Why don't you read some of it for me? Just tell me something.
I don't have it up.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
That's great. Hey, the feedback's been great. Thank you very much.
Yes, it has been great. It actually has. I've been looking through it.
Okay, that's us, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Duncan.
I've got an idea.
Oh, yes.
So
Another
each
one.
time we go to Forrester for feedback and he doesn't have it up yet, we could play some hold music. Like this. Let's put him on hold.
Is this... Yeah, or...
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, or... A bit of a mix.
Maybe
that could be annoying, couldn't it, after 5 minutes of waiting? But let's do that. Let's wait to see if Forrest can get the feedback for us.
Maybe like...
here's some.
Oh, here we go. Oh!
Never attach... Wait, what? What is this person?
Imagine doing this live, Forrest. Oh, you
Never
are.
attach to or hate a political person. Vote on what has worked and what has not. Offer no loyalty to any party, otherwise we would all become third world soon.
Cheers, Duncan Garner.
Yeah. I know what's going on with the Muppets you clowns voted in. That's a good one.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to pre-screen these as well.
Yeah,
I'm kind of wishing I voted the way I usually do, but even with my vote, I think we would still have the same outcome. That's probably
Sadly,
true.
I think you do. The more money we put into this, the more stupid the decisions become.
I'm a swing voter, always have been, always will be, but yes, act local, National Party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, should we cut it there, Forrester?
Yeah, I reckon.
That's another one of those sound effects. Okay. That is us. Thanks for tuning in to Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief, live with Estes Oil, the premium New Zealand-made fish oil supplement backed by a study. Support joint, heart and brain health. Use code Duncan for 10% off the product. 10% off. AboutHealth.co.nz. Take as directed. Read the label. About Health Auckland. This will be available as a podcast on Rover shortly, and wherever you get your podcast. What's that, Forrester?
Got your comments there now. Look at your screen.
I haven't seen anything, mate.
What?
It's a great new computer, but there's nothing there for me. Can you just read me a couple of them now that you're there?
Caleb's got them now.
Okay. This is a cock-up.
I think we should just finish.
No, give us one comment.
Oh, great work, team.
Okay, well done. That's all. Thanks for your feedback. I'm sure it's good in support. I'm Duncan at rover.nz. To my team, Caleb, Miranda, Forrester, thanks for nothing, mate, and Zarina. Guys, we'll do it all again tomorrow. Remember, life's no dress rehearsal. This is what we live in. This is one of the best places on earth, so get out and enjoy it and make the most of it. Take care, folks.
That was Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief Live. Missed something on the live stream? Text Duncan to 3598 to listen back on the podcast. Want to get in touch? Call 0800 863 293.